We look at history and imagine a world gone by, but look closer. The bottles changed. The language changed. The packaging changed. But the pressure looking back from the glass, nothing has really changed. In Victorian England, beauty was not supposed to look bold. It was supposed to look effortless, soft, delicate, pale, almost fragile. The ideal woman was not sun-kissed, glowing, and athletic. She was porcelain, refined, controlled. Her skin should look untouched by labor. Her waist should appear small, her hands smooth. Her lips tinted just enough to suggest life, but never excess. And beneath that perfect stillness, there was often something far more unsettling. Because in the Victorian world, beauty was not always harmless. Sometimes it came laced with danger. Sometimes it came dusted in powder. Sometimes it came dissolved in lotions, tonics, or drops. And sometimes, the very things women used to look more beautiful were quietly making them ill. This is the part history does not always show us. The polished portrait, the elegant gown, the composed expression, the graceful woman seated beside a velvet curtain, her face pale and luminous, her posture proper, her image complete. What the portrait does not reveal is what may have sat on her dressing table: powders, lotions, whiteners, rouges, hair tonics, tooth powders, eye drops. And behind the language of refinement, some of those preparations carried ingredients that today feel almost unthinkable: lead, arsenic, mercury, belladonna. In the Victorian imagination, beauty was discipline. It was moral. It reflected class. A pale complexion signaled that a woman did not work outdoors. It suggested status, leisure, protection from the coarseness of ordinary life. To be pale was not simply a preference. It was a social message. And women absorbed that message deeply. A flushed, healthy, weather-touched face, the kind we might admire today, could suggest too much sun, too much movement, too much worldliness. But pale skin belonged to the ideal. It belonged to the lady. So women pursued it, sometimes gently, with parasols, gloves, hats, and veils, and sometimes with far more dangerous help. Whitening preparations had existed for centuries, long before the Victorians. But the 19th century gave beauty culture a new kind of momentum. There were more products, more advertisements, more promises, more private anxieties. Beauty was becoming commercialized, packaged, and sold with elegant language and reassuring claims. A cream could promise radiance, a tonic could promise delicacy. A lotion could promise a complexion free from blemish. A powder could promise refinement in a box. And many women, like women in every age, wanted to believe. At the heart of the Victorian ideal was the face. The complexion mattered intensely. A smooth, pale face suggested gentility. It suggested self-control. It suggested that a woman belonged to a certain class of life. But skin is rarely obedient. It flushes. It breaks out. It freckles. It shows fatigue. It reveals age. And Victorian women, like women everywhere, searched for ways to quiet what nature insisted on showing. Then came belladonna, a dark little bottle beside the mirror, a drop in each eye. The pupils widened, the gaze softened. To Victorian eyes, it looked dreamy, almost innocent. But the beauty came with a warning: blurred vision, sensitivity to light, damage. The eye was being made more beautiful by being disturbed. Imagine that moment. A woman leaning close to the glass, watching her own eyes change, larger, darker, more vulnerable, more desirable. She's not painting her face now. She's altering her body to match an idea. And the face was not the only place beauty demanded obedience. The waist had its own ritual, laces pulled tighter, breath shortened. The body shaped into a silhouette society praised as graceful. But grace often had a cost, discomfort hidden beneath silk, restriction disguised as elegance. Not every Victorian beauty ritual was poisonous. There was rose water, cold cream, oatmeal, almond paste, hair brushing, scented linens, soft, ordinary acts of care. That is what makes the dressing table so unsettling. The gentle and the dangerous sat side by side. On one side, flowers, on the other, whitening powders. A silver brush beside a toxic cream. A ribbon beside a bottle no skin should touch. The table looked beautiful, but it was also a map of pressure. Now picture the room after sunset, the door closed, the lamp burning low. A woman sits alone at her vanity, no crowd, no applause. Just a mirror, the powder, the bottle, and the quiet question every woman in that world had been trained to ask. Is this enough? The bottles were beautiful. That was part of the danger. Crystal caught the candlelight. Silver trays gleamed. Labels promised softness, purity, refinement. Poison rarely arrived looking ugly. It arrived polished, perfumed, gift-trapped. Outside that room, society waited. Drawing rooms, dinner tables, marriage prospects, watchful mothers, polite men, quiet judgment. A woman's face was not just her face. It was evidence of class, of discipline, of worth. That was the trap. The ideal looked delicate, but it was brutal. Be pale, but alive, beautiful, but modest. Desired, but innocent, perfect, but effortless. A living woman was asked to look almost unreal. After she leaves, the room tells the truth. Powder dust in the air, open tins, stained cloth. Bottles half used, candles melting down. The ritual is over, but the pressure remains. The room changed, the century changed, but the mirror stayed. Victorian women looked into it hoping to become acceptable, desirable, safe. And the truth is, that longing did not disappear. It survived a century. Today the bottles are different, the lighting is different, the language is different, but the pressure is not. Be brighter, be smoother, be better. The promise survived, only the packaging changed. This was never just vanity. It was social pressure dressed up as beauty. And when that pressure becomes elegant enough, harm can start to feel normal. The room is empty now. The candles are burning low. The powders are still open. The bottles are still waiting. And that is the most unsettling part. Nothing here looks violent. It looks soft, feminine, elegant, beautiful. But maybe the poison was never only in the powder. Maybe it was also in the standard, in the silence, in the gaze of the room waiting outside. Before society opened its judging eyes, a woman sat here in the candlelight and performed the oldest ritual of all. She prepared to be seen.